071 A shy man with a tiger's back and a bear's waist, start to make the source of awakenin. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bailanching, over the city gate, a giant crane with a huge body and wings like clouds slowly descended from the sky. When this giant crane appeared, there was a panic at the city gate, because the energy detection machine out of the city gate sounded an alarm, indicating that it was a diamond-level spirit beast. The soldiers who were responsible for guarding the gate immediately panicked. He even wanted to inform the residents of the city that there were diamond-level spirit beasts invading. What are you shouting? This is not the invasion of spirit beasts, but the city lord's spiritual beast Phoenix Crown Cloud Wing Crane. It is the city lord who has returned. What to do? Go back to your post, don't crowd here. Middle-aged man with a burly body like a bear and wearing a military uniform shouted at the soldiers. That's right, the Phoenix Crown Cloud-Winged Crane that appeared at the gate of Belan City was Bai Jingchong's pet beast. After leaving Scarlet Wing City, Bai Jingchong and Bai Zian returned directly to Belan City. The journey was very calm, without the slightest turbulence, and there was no such thing as an attack by a spirit beast. This is inevitable. Bai Jingchong's Phoenix Crown Cloud-Winged Crane is a diamond-level spirit beast. Just the diamond-level aura emanating from the Phoenix Crown Cloud-Winged Crane is enough to make the wild spirit beasts flee, not even daring to get close. Therefore, Bai Jingchong and Bai Zian returned to Belan City smoothly. That's what happened just now. Fengguan Yunyai disappeared, and the figures of Bai Jingchong and Bai Zian appeared above the gate of Belan City. Lord City Lord, you are finally back. Lao Yuan, I miss you to death. The burly figure with a tiger-backed waist and a burly bear-like figure came directly to Bai Jingchong and looked at Bai Jingchong with tears in his eyes, as if seeing an old father whom he hadn't seen for many years. This is the general who reprimanded the soldiers just now. It's just that the general's posture seems to be a little exaggerated. Lao Yuan, can you not talk like this? Be careful that I will slap you. Bai Jingchong looked at the burly man with a speechless expression. He is obviously a fierce general who charges into battle, but 517 always makes such a skinless and shameless gesture, which really makes people speechless. Hey, didn't I just get emotional? The burly man sneered, then put away his exaggerated expression and greeted Bai Zian. Hello, young Master Shaoan, I haven't seen you for a while, and young Master Shaoan has become more handsome. The burly man showed a thumbs up and said to Bai Zian, not stingy with his praise. Hello Uncle Yuan, you are also stronger. Bai Zian chuckled lightly and greeted the burly man. This burly man was Yuan Ducheng, the father of Fatty Yuan Patian. Just looking at his appearance and behavior, he was almost indistinguishable from Fatty Yuan, because in front of Bai Zian, Fatty Yuan is also not ashamed. It has to be said that these two really deserve to be father and son. In fact it is. The two father and son are also very similar in appearance, except that Yuan Ducheng is stronger than Fatty Yuan. The two father and son are almost carved out of the same mold. Lao Yuan, what happened to Belan City in the past few days when I was away? Bai Jingchong and the others walked into the city while asking Yuan Ducheng beside him. Yes, Lord City Lord, 2 days ago, a document was sent from above. 5. Speaking of this matter, Yuan Ducheng became serious and whispered something in Bai Jingchong's ear. Following Yuan Ducheng's remarks, Bai Jingchong's face gradually became serious. Bai Zian was a little puzzled about this, but he didn't ask any more questions. After all, Yuan Ducheng whispered in Bai Jingchong's ear, indicating that this matter is very important and should not be known to others. However, Bai Zian didn't care much about it. Because of Bai Zian now, he only cares about two things. The first one, the origin of the mutant red-winged crow cubs, makes up for the problem. Batch, during the few days on his way back home, the crystal core of the fire element spirit beast on his body was almost absorbed by the mutant red-winged crow cub. Bai Zian must collect more fire-type spirit beast crystal cores to ensure the absorption of the mutant red-winged crow cubs. For this reason, Bai Zian must return to the city lord's mansion as soon as possible. Although the spirit beasts mainly cultivated by the Bai family are water spirit beasts, however, there are more or less spirit beast resources of other attributes. It can be said that the fire element resources in the Bai family can solve Bai Zian's urgent needs. This is the first thing Bai Zian needs to deal with as soon as possible. As for the second thing, that is the configuration of the awakening source fluid. Qinjianlu has already arrived, and all the materials for configuring the source of awakening have been collected. Bai Zian couldn't wait, and wanted to configure the source of awakening to awaken the second beast fighting talent. That's what Bai Zian wants to accomplish now. Xiao and Uncle Yuan will take you back to the city lord's mansion first. Grandpa has some matters to deal with. 35. Just when Bai Zian was thinking wildly, Bai Jingchong's voice came. Obviously, what Yuan Duqing reported to Bai Jingchong just now was not a trivial matter, and he even had to handle it himself. Therefore, Bai Jingchong had no way to send Bai Zian back to the city master's mansion, so he could only let Yuan Duqing go. I see, Grandpa. Bai Zian nodded slightly and didn't care about this matter. After thinking about this, Bai Jingchong and Bai Zian separated and went to deal with affairs. However, before Bai Jingchong left, he took out a jade box and handed it directly to Bai Zian. Bai Zian's eyes lit up and he was very happy, because this is the jade box containing Qinjianlu. Obviously, Bai Jingchong did not forget about Qinjianlu. Before leaving, he did not forget to hand this diamond-grade material directly to Bai Zian. After all, the matter reported by Yuan Duqing was a little tricky, and it might take some time. In order to avoid delaying Bai Zian's affairs, he gave Qinjianlu to Bai Zian in advance. As for the safety of Qinjianlu, having returned to Belan City, and with Yuan Duqing escorting him, Bai Jingchong was not worried about any problems. After doing this, Bai Jingchong left with confidence. Uncle Yuan, let's return directly to the city lord's mansion. Looking at Bai Jingchong's disappearing back, Bai Zian put away the jade box and said to Yuan Duqing, he can't care about other things now, he just wants to return to the city lord's mansion as soon as possible to complete his plan. Naturally, Yuan Duqing didn't say much about this, and the guard was beside Bai Zian, heading towards the city's main mansion. Soon, Bai Zian returned to the city lord's mansion. After that, Yuan Duqing left quickly, seemingly chasing the direction Bai Jingchong left. Master Zian is back. Hello, Master Zian. 39. Seeing Bai Zian's return, the servants of the city lord's mansion all said hello. In response, Bai Zian smiled and nodded in response. Afterwards, Bai Zian ignored other matters and headed directly towards the underground treasure house. Before Bai Jingchong left, he also gave Bai Zian the key to the treasure house, because he also knew Bai Zian's demand for fire resources. Therefore, when he had no way to return to the city lord's mansion for the time being, he directly gave Bai Zian the key and let Bai Zian take the resources himself. I found it, the crystal core of fire-type spirit beasts and various fire-type resources. After a while, Bai Zian found the fire element resources of the Bai family. Several familiar iron boxes appeared in front of Bai Zian, and what is contained here is the fire element resource. Although the Bai family is good at cultivating water-type spirit beasts, they don't pay much attention to fire-type spirit beasts, and there are not many fire-type resources. However, a few boxes of fire resources can still be found. At this time, the iron boxes in front of Bai Zian were the vast majority of the Bai family's fire element resources, but now, all these fire resources have been requisitioned by Bai Zian. Thinking of this, Bai Zian directly summoned the mutant red-winged crow cub, took out a fire-type spirit beast crystal core directly from the iron box, and threw it directly into the mouth of the mutant red-winged crow cub. After this matter was completed, Bai Zian sent all the boxes of fire element resources to his room. Sister Baiji, are you there? Bai Zian opened his mouth and shouted tentatively. In a few seconds, an ice beauty appeared in front of Bai Zian. This is the Angelica that I haven't seen for several days. Because Bai Zian went to Qi City with Bai Jingchong, Bai Ji and Bai Xiao could not follow Bai Zian, so they could only stay in Belan City. Now, Bai Zian has returned to Belan City, and they have returned to Bai Zian's side again, secretly protecting Bai Zian. So, hearing Bai Zian's call, Bai Ji immediately appeared in front of Bai Zian. Sister Baiji, you help me tell the family, use the energy of the family, and help me collect the fire resources of silver level and above. Grandpa has already allowed this matter, Bai Zian said quickly, and ordered Bai Ji. Although it is said that he has already taken out a lot of fire element resources from the treasure house of the Bai family, however, it is not enough to completely make up for the loss of the origin of the mutant red-winged crow cubs. According to Bai Zian's budget, the fire element resources of the Bai family can at most make up for 1/10 of the original loss of the mutant red-winged crow cub. Therefore, he still needs to collect more fire resources, As for the reason for collecting resources at the silver level and above, it is because the resources at the silver level have some effects on the current mutant red-winged crow cubs. Of course, with the passage of time, the quality of the fire resources required by the mutant red-winged crow cubs will also increase. Maybe, in the later stage, Bai Zian will also collect diamond-level fire resources like the twin-tailed girl Lan Jiqi. Of course, that's a matter of the future, and then we'll talk about it later. Yes, Master Zian. The ice beauty Bai Ji saluted, and then went down to convey Bai Zian's order. Sister Bai Xiao, come out too, I have something to look for you. 99 That when Bai Ji disappeared in front of Bai Zian spoke again. This time, Bai Zian summoned another guardian, the female general Bai Xiao. In an instant, Bai Xiao appeared in front of Bai Zian. Xiaoan, what can you do to me? Bai Xiao came to Bai Zian and asked Bai Zian with a smile. Sister Bai Xiao, I have a list in my hand, you can help me collect all the materials on the list. Bai Zian nodded and took out a list. As for the things recorded on the list, it is related to the production of a thing, that is the production of awakening source liquid. To make awakening origin liquid, only 3 diamond-grade materials, Nixia secret leaf, Qinjianlu and Tianyuan tears, are not enough. This is just the main material for making awakening origin liquid, and some other materials are needed. Just the rest of the materials, all of which are common materials, can be easily found. Therefore, Bai Zian is now preparing to make the awakening origin liquid, so he asked Bai Xiao to find these auxiliary materials. 072 The birth of the source of awakening, the shock of Bai Chengzhi and his wife. Subscribe. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I know, I'll do it now. It seemed that Bai Zian's anxiety could be heard from Bai Zian's mouth. Bai Xiao also became serious, took Bai Zian's list, and quickly dealt with this matter. Until this time, what Bai Zian needs to accomplish has temporarily come to an end. Next, he only needs to wait until Bai Xiao returns. I have to say that Balan City is better. This is his territory. No matter what they do, they will not be restrained in any way. No matter what he needs, Bai Zian just needs to give a command, and the Bai family will help him deal with it. Xiaoan, are you back? Why did you run so far away? 39.at The same time, a call came from the hall. This is the voice of Bai Zian's mother, Lu Kaiyan. Knowing that Bai Zian was back, Bai Zian's parents put down their jobs and went home directly. They were reported 10 days ago. Knowing that Bai Zian left Balan City with Bai Jingchong and went to Qi City, this thing made them a little worried. Although it is said that Bai Jingchong's strength is very powerful, he belongs to the diamond-level powerhouse. However, if you go directly to another main city, you will also pass through the territory of many powerful spirit beasts on the way. As a parent, how can you not worry at all? Bai Zian was a little helpless about this, so he could only obediently come to the hall, ready to accept his mother's care and talk. It took a while for Bai Zian to comfort his mother and make her less worried. Xiaoan, why did you suddenly go to Scarlet Wing City? That it was not until the mother Lv Kaiyan finished talking that the father Bai Chengzhi opened his mouth and asked Bai Zian. Although they knew, Bai Zian and Bai Jingchong went to Qi City together. However, this incident was a bit sudden, and Bai Jingchong didn't explain it too much, which caused them to have some doubts. A certain material I needed appeared in Scarlet Wing City, and I also planned to contract a bird-like pet, so my grandfather took me to Scarlet Wing City. Bai Zian made a long story short and talked a little about what happened a few days ago. Of course, Bai Zian didn't say much about Qinjianlu, just mentioned it in one sentence. After all, when it comes to diamond-grade materials, it is estimated that his father will be shocked when he finds out. In order to avoid trouble, Bai Zian didn't bother to say more, and brought it directly with some material. Xiaoan, have you contracted the second beast? What kind of beast? Let's see. Hearing Bai Zian's words, Bai Chengzhi and Lu Xian's eyes lit up. They naturally knew about Bai Zian's promotion to the black iron level. To be honest, when they heard the news from the old man, they were also frightened. Because of this growth rate, it is really amazing. In about a month, the white-scaled fish was directly cultivated from the eggs of the spirit beasts to the black iron level. This incident almost didn't scare them, and it took several days to ease up. Now, when they learned that Bai Zian contracted the second pet beast, they were suddenly interested. Brother, I want to see spirit beasts too. Bai Zian's younger sister, who also said next to him, was very curious about Bai Zian's spirit beasts. "All right," Bai Zian nodded slightly and directly summoned the mutant red-winged crow cub. With the opening of the mythical beast space, a fiery red crow cub appeared in front of Bai Zian. At the same time, the temperature in the hall suddenly increased a lot. "The red-winged crow of the Qi family? What price did your grandfather pay to let the city master of Qilianyan take out the red-winged crow?" Bai Chengzhi was a little surprised when he recognized the identity of the red-winged crow. The red-winged crow of the Qi family, how could he not know? However, how could the Qi family take out the red-winged crow? This is like his white family, and it is impossible to let the white scale fish spread. At least, in the mysterious world of 10,000 spider nests, it is impossible for them to let the white-scaled fish spread out. This made Bai Chengzhi a little puzzled. "This is from a gamble. I gambled with Qi Yani, the granddaughter of the city lord Qi Lianyan. After winning, I entered the Scarlet Crow Valley and picked out this cub of the Scarlet Crow." Bai Zian introduced a little. In this regard, Bai Chengzhi and his wife were a little surprised. Unexpectedly, there is such a story behind this red-winged crow cub. However, they are also very happy for Bai Zian, because this red-winged crow is extraordinary at first glance, although it is slightly thinner. Its aura and appearance are somewhat different from ordinary red-winged crows, which is also its extraordinary point. It is also a good thing for Bai Zian to be able to subdue such a red-winged crow. For this reason, Bai Chengzhi and Lu Kaiyun are naturally very happy. Bai Zian's younger sister, Bai Ziyu, was somewhat disgusted. "This little crow is not good-looking. I still prefer the white-scaled fish." Bai Ziyu looked like a little adult, and looked at the mutant red-winged crow cub with some disgust. Being influenced by her family, she likes white-scale fish even more. This made the mutant red-winged crow cub a bit hit. It was about to become the existence of the sun, and this little girl didn't like it. Is there a reason for this? In this regard, Bai Zian was a little speechless, too lazy to pay attention to the fight between the two little guys. After a short while, Bai Zian returned to his room, and only then did he get a trace of silence. However, this silence was soon broken, because the white peony is back. "Shaoan, all the materials on the list are ready." Bai Shao came to report. Although the list materials listed by Bai Zian are not particularly precious, with the energy of the Bai family, the collection will be completed soon. The reason why it took half a day is because of the variety of materials. Because of this reason, Bai Shao directly completed the task in a short period of time. As for the task that Bai Zian handed to Angelica, it is estimated that it is not so easy to complete. After all, collecting fire resources was originally a long-term task. However, all the main and auxiliary materials for making the awakening source liquid have been collected, and it is time for him to start refining the awakening source liquid. "Sister Bai Shao, don't let anyone disturb me. Even if my parents come over, I'm going to retreat for a while." 35. Bai Zian opened his mouth and ordered Bai Shao. Afterwards, Bai Zian opened the mythical beast space and summoned the mutant red-winged crow cub. "Little guy, those fire resources are put there, you can eat them yourself. Also, for the next period of time, you guard the door for me, and no one is allowed to come in without my permission." Bai Zian opened his mouth and ordered the mutant red-winged crow cub. He has to focus on refining the awakening origin liquid, and I'm afraid he doesn't have time to feed the mutant red-winged crow cubs. Therefore, Bai Zian simply let it eat by itself, and he acted as a guard. By the way, in this regard, the mutant red-winged crow cub is a little tangled. Although Bai Zian took out so many fire resources, however, acting as a bodyguard is a little embarrassing. This made the mutant red-winged crow a little confused. Should Bai Zian stand guard for a few days? But on second thought, it seems that it can be understood in a different way. It is destined to become a big man of the sun. Bai Zian honors so many fire resources, and it protects Bai Zian for a period of time. This is not normal. 0 Seeking flowers, what a simple thing. A little change of thinking, things become different. Thinking of this, the mutant red-winged crow cub immediately accepted it, flew directly above these fire resources, and lay down directly on it. It's so damn comfortable. Bai Zian, the bad guy, is always corrupting his will. Bai Zian naturally didn't know the thoughts of the mutant red-winged crow cubs, because at this time, Bai Zian was already busy. The first is to deal with various auxiliary materials. It takes some time to process all these materials. Moreover, a little carelessness may destroy the medicinal properties of the material. In this regard, Bai Zian did not hesitate at all, and directly opened the Eye of Apocalypse, to find the most suitable treatment method. With the help of the Eye of Apocalypse, Bai Zian's handling became very simple. It took Bai Zian half a day to process these auxiliary materials and refine them into a pitch-black liquid medicine, to be honest. If it wasn't for the Eye of Apocalypse prompt, Bai Zian's production was not wrong, he would feel like he messed up. Next is the refining of the main material, Bai Zian murmured. After the auxiliary materials are processed, the next step is the refining of the main materials. Thinking of this, Bai Zian followed the instructions of the Eye of Apocalypse, refined Nishiamai, Qinjianlu and Tianyuan tears, and added them to the black pot of liquid medicine. This time, the pitch-black liquid medicine not only became darker, but also gave off an unpleasant smell. In this regard, Bai Zian has black lines all over his head. He really felt that he had screwed this up. However, the Eye of Apocalypse hinted that this is the correct way to make it. Just die, I believe, Eye of Apocalypse, will not pit me. 5. Bai Zian murmured and took out the last piece of material solemnly. This is a mystical stone that is like jade, exuding a gentle light. This is exactly the awakening origin stone that Bai Zian obtained from the leader of the mutant candle flame spider. This is the core material of awakening source liquid. Now, the other main materials and auxiliary materials have been processed, and the last core material is missing. Thinking of this, Bai Zian directly threw the awakening origin stone into the unpleasant black medicinal liquid. When the awakening originium entered the water, the unpleasant black medicinal liquid seemed to change slightly. The pitch-black color seems to have receded a bit, the unpleasant smell seems to have faded a bit. There seems to be a change. That would be great. It seems I should have gotten it right. Next, I only need to climb the board for 1 day, and the awakening source liquid can be made successfully. Seeing the change of the unpleasant black medicinal liquid, Bai Zian showed a hint of joy. This shows that there is no error in his production. Next, he only needs to follow the description of the Eye of Apocalypse, climb up for a day, and let the awakening origin stone dissolve in the black medicinal liquid. Thinking of this, Bai Zian was relieved and rested a little. Of course, rest is rest. However, Bai Zian did not leave the room and did not allow anyone to come in, because the matter of awakening the source fluid is too important. Bai Zian has already decided, if the awakening source liquid is not completely refined, he will not leave the room for half a step. This is the safest course of action, after all, the kind of thing that is about to succeed, but because of a momentary negligence, leads to the loss of the whole game. It is simply not too much. For this reason, Bai Zian stayed beside the black medicinal liquid for the rest of the time. 073 Second Talent Awakening, SSS-level Talent, Chain of Heaven's Path. Subscribe. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Time flies, and the day has finally passed. At this time, the unpleasant black medicinal liquid has undergone tremendous changes. The pitch-black color disappeared completely, turning into a clear pale green. The unpleasant smell turned into a faint medicinal scent at this time, which looked very miraculous. 1 meter ahead, the source of awakening is found. Looking at the Eye of Apocalypse prompt, Bai Zian finally showed a smile. The awakening source liquid was finally refined successfully. It took so much time and energy, and even a lot of price, to finally complete the refining of the awakening source liquid. Bai Zian sighed with emotion. To be honest, the refining of the awakening origin liquid is the most difficult treasure Bai Zian has obtained over the years. Bai Zian spent a lot of time and energy in order to prepare the source of awakening. What's more, Bai Zian followed Bai Jingchong to another main city and competed with the diamond-level powerhouse Lan Dongli. Only then did he obtain the materials for refining the awakening origin liquid. The hard work involved here is unimaginable. Now, seeing that the source of awakening was finally successfully prepared, Bai Zian's mood was naturally very excited. After a while, Bai Zian calmed down and was ready to use the awakening source liquid. After removing the clothes on his body, Bai Zian went directly into the bathtub carrying the awakening source liquid. Afterwards, Bai Zian's body sank, letting the awakening source fluid 520 soak into his entire body. Bai Zian can feel it. A warm energy entered Bai Zian's body from every pore on his body. This special energy flows in Bai Zian's limbs and bones, and finally converges in Bai Zian's mind. At the same time, a chain-like phantom slowly appeared above the bathtub where Bai Zian was sitting. This chain is very special, like gold but not gold, like soil but not soil, in the form of purple gold energy. exuding an amazing breath. If Bai Jingchong was here, he would be shocked, because, this is not a real chain, just a vision. This is the talent vision that will only be born when it surpasses A-level talent. Bai Zian successfully awakened the talent of the second beastmaster. Moreover, looking at Bai Zian's talent vision, Bai Zian's awakened second beast fighting talent is definitely an S rank or above talent. If Bai Jingchong was here, he would definitely be frightened, because he had never heard of it. Someone could awaken the second beast fighting talent. If this matter were known to others, it would definitely be shocked to the point of being speechless, because this kind of thing is too scary. At the same time, in the other direction of Balan City, in the Awakening Hall, in the center of Awakening Square, a drunken-eyed, gray-haired old man walked out of the room. This is Wu Xinghan, the person in charge of the Awakening Hall in Balan City, and an old friend of Bai Jingchong. Usually, Wu Xinghan stayed in the Awakening Hall and was responsible for maintaining the safety and operation of the Awakening Hall, because the awakening ceremony is held once a year. Wu Xinghan's work is also very easy, so sometimes, he would also go to various taverns and steal half a day to spare. Yesterday, Wu Xinghan had just found a fine wine, and at this time he was still a little drunk, not particularly sober, but now, Wu Xinghan's eyes were puzzled, and he looked in the direction of the inner city. Strange, why do I feel that there seems to be a special awakening energy? Could it be that someone has awakened spontaneously? Hey, energy fluctuations spread from the inner city to here. How is this possible? It must be that I haven't sobered up yet. Wu Xinghan was a little puzzled. As the person in charge of the Awakening Hall, he has been dealing with awakening ceremony all the year round, and he is very familiar with awakening energy. For this reason, Wu Xinghan felt that there seemed to be an aura of awakening energy coming from the direction of the inner city of Balan City. But how is this possible? You must know that although the Awakening Hall is in Balan City, there is still a considerable distance from the inner city. If someone really awakened the talent of the beastmaster on their own, the energy fluctuations would even spread to the Awakening Hall. So, how amazing should this person's awakened beast mastering talent be? If nothing else, it is impossible for awakeners of S-rank talent to do this. This is a bit wrong. Wu Xinghan felt that even the legendary SS-level talent awakener could not do this. As for why it is in the legend, because Wu Xinghan has been in charge of the Awakening Hall for so many years, he has never seen an awakener with SS-level talent. It must be because he has not woken up from the wine, so he has this feeling. Thinking of this, Wu Xinghan ignored the matter and continued to go back to drink. In fact, Wu Xinghan's idea is really not wrong. At this time, in Balan City, there are indeed people who are awakening the talent of beast fighting, and they are awakening an unimaginably powerful talent. However, Bai Zian at this time did not know the situation outside. At this time, Bai Zian devotes himself to awakening the talent of the second imperial beast. With the passage of time, above the bathtub where Bai Zian was, the talent vision became more and more obvious. The condensed purple-golden chain vision is also becoming more and more solid. What's more, with the passage of time, the second chain vision, and even the third chain vision, slowly emerged. 3 illusory chain shadows appeared above Bai Zian. After a while, the 3 chain visions slowly disappeared. All the visions disappeared, and Bai Zian slowly opened his eyes. At this moment, in the depths of Bai Zian's eyes, there were 3 purplish gold fine lines that flashed past, making Bai Zian look very majestic, with an indescribable noble temperament. But in the blink of an eye, all the visions disappeared and seemed to return to their original appearance, and at this time, Bai Zian already knew what his second beast fighting talent was. SSS-level talent, Chain of Heaven's Path. Is this my second beast fighting talent? Bai Zian murmured, and there was an undisguised surprise in his eyes. Yes, Bai Zian's awakened second talent is an unprecedented SSS-level talent. It has to be said that Bai Zian is very lucky. Follow the introduction of the awakening source liquid Bai, Eye of Apocalypse. After using awakening source liquid, there is a chance to awaken SSSS talent. However, the so-called SSSS-level talent is also different. Using the awakening origin liquid awakening talent, the scope is indeed within these 3 talents. However, the S-level talent with a lower awakening level is naturally less difficult. If you want to awaken the SS level with a higher level, or even the highest SSS-level talent, the difficulty is higher. If it is described as 100%, using awakening source liquid, the probability of awakening S-level talents is 90%, and the probability of awakening SS-level talents is 9%. Then, the possibility of awakening SSS-level talent is only 1%, this is where you can see the difference. If you want to awaken higher level talents, the possibility will be lower. However, Bai Zian's luck is no more. Under such circumstances, Bai Zian actually awakened his SSS-level talent. For this reason, Bai Zian was so happy. As for the role of Bai Zian's awakened second talent, Chain of Heaven's Path, Bai Zian has also figured it out. Chain of Heavenly Tao, SSS-level rule system talent. Heaven and earth have spirits, spirits are rejected, and cannot be completely integrated, but the power of Heavenly Tao can forcibly break the gap between living beings, linking living beings together, so as to share the origin of other living beings' power. A chain of heaven can only link one creature. 0. It is too exaggerated to have a talent that can break the barriers of life and forcibly share the power of the source of others. 35. Bai Zian's eyes lit up, and there was an indescribable surprise in his heart. You can forcibly share the source power of others. What is the power of origin? To put it simply, it is the origin of a person, a certain kind of power displayed. For beastmasters, their source of power is their talent. For beastmasters, in other words, Bai Zian can completely rely on the chain of heavenly Tao to share the beast guarding talent of other beast guardians. This ability is a bit insane. This does not mean that Bai Zian's second talent is not fixed. As long as Bai Zian wants to, he can link to other people at any time, and use the beast guarding talents of other beast guarding masters. This is a bit of an exaggeration. Sister Baiji, are you there? I have something to look for you. Thinking of this, Bai Zian was a little excited and couldn't wait to verify his ideas. Swish, in a few seconds, a shadowy figure came to Bai Zian in an instant. This is the ice beauty Angelica. However, when Baiji appeared in front of Bai Zian, a blush appeared on her delicate face like an ice cube. Master Zian, you came to me, but what are your orders? Baiji turned her head and then asked Bai Zian. Yes, I have a very urgent matter, and I want to ask you for help. Bai Zian nodded quickly. Although he was a little puzzled, why is the behavior of the ice beauty Baiji a little strange? However, at this time, Bai Zian was bent on experimenting with his new talents, and had no intention of caring about other things at all. Now. Here. Not good. Baiji's face suddenly turned redder. Although she is not unwilling, it will be too direct. Bai Zian is even more puzzled. Why don't he just verify his new talent? It wasn't until a cool breeze blew that Bai Zian felt a chill, and then he woke up, and suddenly sat back in the glass jar. I'll go. He's in a bad state right now, because he had to soak in the awakening origin liquid at 2.9. Bai Zian didn't have the slightest burden on him. After successfully awakening the second beastmaster talent, all Bai Zian's thoughts were placed on the second beastmaster talent, and he even forgot about it. As a result, I didn't expect that such an oolong was actually made, and Baiji misunderstood it. Wait, what did Baiji mean by that sentence just now? Those three rhetorical questions, no matter how you look at it, it doesn't seem right. Something is wrong. Angelica is very wrong. As the young master of Baiji, he has to study Baiji well. Cough, Sister Baiji, you go out first and wait for me to clean up. Bai Zian coughed dryly and said to Baiji, although he also wanted to study it in depth. After all, he's not a herbivore, he's a carnivore, but now he is still a little young. At the age of 14 or 15, they have not yet developed well. For the sake of future happiness, now is not the time to start eating meat. In desperation, Bai Zian could only let Angelica quit temporarily. Yes, Master Zian. Baiji was stunned for a moment, and suddenly realized that she had misunderstood. For a time, Baiji's cheeks turned even redder, and the heat emanating from her seemed to melt her iceberg. She was a little embarrassed, and quickly backed out. 074 The anti-sky effect of Chain of Heaven's Path, an unprecedented four-talented beastmaster. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bai Zian got up only after Baiji exited. After he was fully dressed, Bai Zian called his servant and hurriedly tidied up his room. As for the awakening source liquid in the glass jar, Bai Zian didn't keep it either, because, at this time, nothing was left in the glass jar. Only a pool of clear water was left. Obviously, all the medicinal power of the awakening source liquid was absorbed by Bai Zian. This made Bai Zian a little pity. Originally, Bai Zian was planning to see if he could use it a second time after he awakened his second beast mastering talent. For example, let his pet beast soak it to see if it can have some effect. After all, this is the source of awakening. If he is lucky, his pet beast can awaken a talent again. Even low-level talent is a huge gain. To put it bluntly, if he eats meat himself, he must give the pet a chance to drink soup, however. Looking at the source of awakening that turned into clear water, Bai Zian knew that his thoughts were shattered. In desperation, Bai Zian had no choice but to let the servants deal with it. After a while, Bai Zian's room became brand new again. At this time, Bai Zian summoned Angelica again. However, what appeared in front of Bai Zian was not the ice beauty Bai Ji, but the female general Bai Xiao. The oolong incident just now made Bai Ji a little embarrassed to face Bai Zian, and asked Bai Xiao to temporarily replace her. This made Bai Zian a little helpless. Sister Bai Ji's affairs will be discussed after the business is over. Now, let's get down to business, Bai Zian said. At this time, the only thing he was thinking about was the second beast-defying talent, Chain of Heavenly Tao. After he has studied the situation after the second talent, he will deal with the matter of 10 Angelica. Sister Bai Xiao, stand on the spot, relax, don't resist. Bai Zian opened his mouth and began to try the effect of Chain of Heaven's Path. After a short period of time, Bai Zian had already figured out the function of the Heavenly Tao chain. Sure enough, it was just like Bai Zian's conjecture. He could indeed use the Chain of Heaven's Path to link other beastmasters and share their beastmaster talents. Just now, Bai Zian used a Chain of Heavenly Tao and successfully used Bai Xiao's beast defying talent. Moreover, as long as the successfully linked beastmasters, no matter how far away they are from Bai Zian, it will not affect Bai Zian. In order to verify this matter, Bai Zian also made an excuse to let Bai Xiao go to the other end of Balan City, and after Bai Xiao went there, Bai Zian, who stayed in the city lord's mansion, could still use Bai Xiao's talent. This means that the effect of Chain of Heaven's Path will not be affected by distance. For this, Bai Zian is very happy, because the limited scope of Eye of Apocalypse has always made Bai Zian want to complain. Well now, his second talent, Chain of Heaven's Path, will not be limited by distance, which makes Bai Zian very happy. He seemed to understand a little bit why the second beast-fighting talent, Chain of Heavenly Tao, was called a rule-based talent, because Chain of Heavenly Tao manifests the Chain of Heavenly Tao, which is a rule-like existence. As long as it is successfully linked, it will not be affected by other factors. Just like a rule, this is definitely a good thing for Bai Zian, sharing the talents of other beastmasters regardless of distance. This is the first ability of Chain of Heaven's Path. In addition, Bai Zian has a second harvest, that is, he can not only share the talents of other beastmasters, but even more than one, but as many as 3. Follow the instructions of Tiandao. A Chain of Heaven can link a beastmaster. As for Bai Zian's Chain of Heaven's Path talent, there are 3 chains of Heaven's Path. Therefore, Bai Zian can link up to 3 beastmasters at the same time and obtain 3 talents. This is definitely a huge gain for Bai Zian. In this way, Bai Zian can share 3 talents. Coupled with Bai Zian's original mythical talent, Eye of Apocalypse, could Bai Zian be able to use 4 beast-fighting talents at the same time. This is really amazing. I've never heard of it. There is a beastmaster who can have 4 beastmaster talents. In this way, wouldn't I be the first person in the history of beastmasters to possess 4 talents for beastmasters? As if thinking of something, Bai Zian's expression became very surprised. To be honest, in Bai Zian's view, this is the most defiant. Just imagine if Bai Zian's Chain of Heaven's Path shared 3 beastmasters with SSS-level talent. Doesn't that mean that Bai Zian directly possesses 1 mythical talent and 3 SSS talent? This is the worst. I have to say that the Chain of Heaven's Path talent obtained this time is really amazing. Sharing the talents of others regardless of distance can share the talents of 3 beastmasters at the same time. These are the 2 functions of the Chain of Heaven's Path talent. This is the result of Bai Zian's research on Chain of Heaven's Way. In fact, Bai Zian's research on the Chain of Heaven's Way has some new discoveries. Bai Zian discovered that the Chain of Heaven's Way manifested in Chain of Heaven's Way had 3 special characteristics. The first feature is secrecy. The Chain of Heavenly Tao is very secretive, almost to the point of imperceptibility. Although he shared Bai Xiao's beast-fighting talent, Bai Xiao didn't seem to feel anything, nor did he notice the existence of the Chain of Heavenly Tao. This is the secrecy of the Chain of Heavenly Tao. The second feature is mandatory. Bai Zian tried it and made Bai Xiao resist Bai Zian's heavenly link. However, even if Bai Xiao resisted, it would have no effect. As long as Bai Zian uses the chain of heavenly Tao, he can forcibly link Bai Xiao to share her talent. This is called coercion. As for the third characteristic, that is initiative, the so-called initiative means that the initiative used by the chain of heaven's path is on Bai Zian. Because of the role of the chain of heaven, it belongs to the power of sharing the source. However, in general, sharing is two-way. Bai Zian can share the talents of others, and others can share the talents of Bai Zian. For such a thing, Bai Zian naturally would not allow it, because of the mythical talent, Eye of Apocalypse. This is Bai Zian's trump card. No matter what happened, even if the sky collapsed, the mysterious world of 10,000 spider nests collapsed directly, it is also impossible for Bai Zian to share the Eye of Apocalypse talent with others. At this point, even Bai Zian's family, even his closest grandfather, Bai Jingchong, is the same. This is not to say that Bai Zian is too mean and ruthless, it's just that the words mythical talent are too special. Keeping this secret completely is the safest way. On this point, Bai Zian had already made a decision when he awakened the mythical talent, Eye of Apocalypse. No matter what the situation is, he will never let the second person know the existence of the Eye of Apocalypse talent. At this time, the initiative characteristic of Chain of Heaven's Path can come into play. With the highest authority of Chain of Heaven's Path, Bai Zian can choose to disconnect the channel for others to share Bai Zian's talents. In this way, two-way sharing becomes one-way plundering. In other words, Bai Zian can share other people's talents, but other people can't use Bai Zian's talents. This is called initiative. In Bai Zian's view, this feature is the most important. Concealment, coercion and initiative, these are the three characteristics of the Chain of Heaven's Way. Two effects, three characteristics. This is the result of Bai Zian's research on Chain of Heaven's Way. This is good news for Bai Zian. In this way, he can not only share the talents of his own people, what's more, if he wants to acquire the talent of a hostile beastmaster, he can easily do it. The secrecy and compulsion of the power of heaven can link Bai Zian with other beastmasters and reduce the difficulty a lot. The initiative can guarantee Bai Zian's absolute advantage. This is the ability of Chain of Heaven's Path. It can be said that the effect of the Chain of Heaven's Path is somewhat beyond Bai Zian's expectations. These functions and characteristics, if used properly, will definitely bring great help. The ability of the Chain of Heaven's Tao is too heaven-defying. Sure enough, working hard to refine the awakening source liquid is really an extremely correct decision. Bai Zian was a little emotional. His insistence on refining the awakening origin liquid was really an extremely correct decision. If it was before, he disliked the difficulty of refining the awakening source liquid, so he gave up this matter. 520 Then, Bai Zian will not have the possibility to obtain the SSS-level talent, Chain of Heaven's Path. This makes Bai Zian feel very fortunate. Sure enough, his choice was correct. It's really God helping me, with the two heaven-defying talents, Eye of Apocalypse, and Chain of Heaven's Path. Who else will be my opponent in the future? 35. Bai Zian thought about his two beast-fighting talents, and became more and more happy in his heart. His two talents are both top-level talents, and anyone who obtains one of them can take off directly. Now, these two heaven-defying beast-fighting talents are all in Bai Zian's hands, so, isn't Bai Zian going to go straight to the sky? This made Bai Zian very excited. After a while, Bai Zian let go of his excitement and looked at Bai Xiao again. Thank you, Sister Bai Xiao, thanks to your help, I have a good harvest. Bai Zian opened his mouth and thanked Bai Xiao. Bai Xiao was at a loss for this. In fact, she didn't even know what Bai Zian asked her to do. Let her relax, don't resist, and then let her resist. Then, Bai Zian asked her to run errands and run to the other side of Balan City. From beginning to end, Bai Xiao did things according to Bai Zian's orders. However, what exactly Bai Zian was doing, she didn't see it at all. She didn't know at all. This is inevitable, because of the secret characteristics of the Chain of Heavenly Tao. Bai Xiao could not feel the existence of the Chain of Heavenly Tao at all. Therefore, Bai Xiao didn't know what Bai Zian was doing from the beginning to the end. For a time, Bai Xiao fell into self-doubt. Who am I? Where do I come from? Where am I going? Don't overthink it, everything is over. Go ahead, elder sister Bai Xiao. By the way, help me call elder sister Bai Ji over here. 5. By the way, if she doesn't come, you say that I will find her myself. 99. Bai Zian smiled lightly, and naturally he could see Bai Xiao's confusion. However, Bai Zian has no idea of explaining either. After all, his talent for fighting beasts is too special, so naturally Bai Zian won't say it. 075 Solve Bai Jingchong's problem, how to deal with amethyst-level potential spirit beast eggs. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bai Zian didn't mention anything about the chain of heaven's path, and didn't say much. Later, Bai Zian asked Bai Xiao to work. Before leaving, Bai Zian asked Bai Xiao to call Bai Ji over. Of course, Bai Zian also knew that Bai Ji at this time was still in a state of social death. In order to avoid Bai Ji, who did not dare to come to see him, Bai Zian also specifically warned, if Bai Ji doesn't come, he will go to Bai Ji in person. In this regard, Bai Xiao was full of doubts, but she still carried out Bai Zian's order. After a while, an iceberg-like figure finally came to Bai Zian's door. The one who appeared at Bai Zian's door was naturally Bai Ji, who was summoned by Bai Zian. It's just that Bai Ji at this time was a little hesitant and did not enter the room for a long time. Come in, Sister Bai Ji. Bai Zian's voice came from the room. Obviously, Bai Zian knew about Angelica's arrival for a long time. After all, with the Eye of Apocalypse hint, as long as you get close to Bai Zian, you can't escape Bai Zian's perception. I've seen Master Zian, but I don't know if the Master called me here. What's the matter? Only then did Bai Ji pluck up the courage, came to Bai Zian, bowed her head and bowed to Bai Zian, not daring to look directly into Bai Zian's eyes. However, Bai Ji waited for a while, but did not get a reply from Bai Zian. Bai Ji, who had doubts in her heart, raised her head slightly and looked at Bai Zian in front of her. At this time, Bai Ji realized that Bai Zian was looking at her with a smile. Instead of a smile, as if thinking of something, Bai Ji's cheeks were slightly red. Why don't you dare to look at me? Could it be that you have done something wrong? Bai Zian smiled, looked at Bai Ji and said. It's not yet, Master Zian. As soon as he said this, Bai Ji's face turned even redder. It was Bai Zian's fault that she misunderstood and made such an oolong. Bai Zian did not refute this, but looked at Bai Ji with great interest. In the past, Angelica was an iceberg. It is rare to have such a reaction today, but Bai Zian felt a little novel, with a different charm. After a while, Bai Zian spoke again. What happened just now was indeed a bit of a misunderstanding. 95 foot, however, if there is a chance, I hope it can come true. It's a pity that I'm still young now, so I'm afraid you have to wait a few years. Bai Zian opened his mouth and uttered a ridicule. As soon as this sentence came out, Bai Ji's face turned even redder. This time, Bai Ji finally couldn't sit still and walked outside in embarrassment. In this regard, Bai Zian smiled indifferently, but did not catch up, because Bai Zian's purpose has been achieved. Bai Zian specially called Angelica to come over. In fact, there was only one reason, that is to say what he thinks, so as not to cause unnecessary misunderstanding between him and Angelica. To tell the truth, Bai Ji is such an excellent woman with a special temperament, it is impossible for Bai Zian to say that he has no idea at all. To be precise, Bai Zian, the hidden big bad wolf, is not just staring at just one Angelica. Bai Xiao, who also has a special temperament, would be deceiving himself if Bai Zian didn't think about it at all. After all, they are only in their 20s now, and even if Bai Zian grows up in a few years, they will still be in their 20s, and the time is exactly the same. However, because Bai Zian has not yet grown up, it is not the time to start. For this reason, the previous Bai Zian never mentioned this matter. In the end, he didn't expect that he would make a big oolong when he broke through the talent of the second beastmaster. If Bai Zian pretends to be deaf and dumb, he won't mention it again. Maybe it will leave a grudge in Angelica's heart. Do you think Bai Zian looks down on her, or ignores her? A woman's mind is always complex and sensitive, and may be cranky. Over time, Angelica may have some grudges in her heart, and even gradually move away from Bai Zian. Although this kind of bloody plot may not necessarily appear, there is also the possibility of appearing. This is not what Bai Zian wants to see. Therefore, in order to avoid unnecessary bloody plots, Bai Zian did not bother to hide, and directly spoke his thoughts in a mocking tone. In this way, Bai Ji will definitely know Bai Zian's thoughts. Knowing that Bai Zian, the big bad wolf, is staring at the little white rabbit, presumably, Bai Ji will fully understand Bai Zian's thoughts, and will no longer think wildly, and will not have grudges in her heart. That's Bai Zian's solution. In this way, when he grows up, Bai Zian can also start naturally, as expected of him, he came up with a perfect solution. As for Bai Zhi's death, Bai Zian doesn't care so much. However, the effect seems to be very good, being ridiculed by Bai Zian. Bai Zhi was shy and ran straight out the door. However, before Bai Zhi left, Bai Zian saw that Bai Zhi's slightly frowning brows had been completely relieved. It seems that a bloody plot that is about to appear has been solved by Bai Zian. The matter is finally resolved. Then, I should continue my business. Bai Zian showed a smile. The bloody matter is resolved, and it is time for him to return to his normal career and continue to complete his work. To be honest, there are still many things to be done in the next Bai Zian. Now that he has obtained the second beastmaster talent, Chain of Heaven's Path, he can obtain 3 new talents. Then, he should also study what kind of beastmaster should he look for, so that the role of the Chain of Heaven's Path can be maximized. In addition, Bai Zian also needs to plan the development direction of the mutant red-winged crow cubs. After all, the characteristics of spirit beasts are always evolution. Bai Zian also needs to find a suitable evolutionary chain for the mutant red-winged crow cubs, and then develop in this direction. What's more, Bai Zian also needs to continue to cultivate the white shadow giant scale fish and mutant red-winged crow cubs to improve their strength. In addition to these things, I still need to continue to study the Chain of Heaven's Way. I have an intuition. The role of the Chain of Heaven's Path talent is definitely not only those on the bright side. There should be other roles, but I haven't discovered it yet. Bai Zian murmured and said a word. Although through the previous experiments, he has already figured out the function of the Chain of Heaven's Way. However, that is only the most basic usage. Just like Eye of Apocalypse, along with Bai Zian's research, Eye of Apocalypse has more and more uses. As an SSS-level talent, Bai Zian believes that Chain of Heaven's Path is not that simple. Therefore, it is necessary to continue to study the Chain of Heavenly Tao. Think about it this way, there are many, many more things Bai Zian needs to accomplish. He has no time to slack off and needs to keep going. By the way, I almost forgot one thing. Now, I have successfully contracted the mutant red-winged crow cub. In this way, that eagle-type spirit beast egg with amethyst-level qualification has no meaning. How should we deal with such amethyst-level eagle spirit beast eggs to maximize the benefits? Bai Zian had a flash of light and thought of another thing. When he was in Scarlet Wing City before, Bai Zian bought an amethyst-level eagle spirit beast from the market of Scarlet Wing City in order to have an alternative. However, along with Bai Zian's successful contract, the mutated red-winged crow cub, for Bai Zian, this amethyst-level eagle-type spirit beast egg has no meaning. After all, the mutant red-winged crow cub is also a bird-like spirit beast. Although due to variation, there is no wind attribute, but as a bird-like spirit beast, the mutant red-winged crow cub still has the ability to fly. When the mutant red-winged crow grows up, the mutant red-winged crow can also become Bai Zian's flying mount. It can be said that this amethyst-level qualified eagle spirit beast egg overlaps with the mutant red-winged crow cub. It is impossible for Bai Zian to contract this spirit beast egg. Therefore, Bai Zian needs to think about how to deal with this spirit beast egg. Should I give the contract to my father, or leave it to my grandfather? 9. Bai Zian murmured in his heart, thinking about this matter. There were 2 thoughts in his mind. One is his father Bai Chengzhi, and the other is his grandfather Bai Jingchong. Bai Zian's father, Bai Chengzhi, needless to say, as a gold-level beastmaster, after stepping into the diamond level, you can contract a new beast. If there is a stronger beast, it will definitely be more beneficial to Bai Chengzhi. But in truth, Bai Zian is more inclined to give this amethyst-level eagle spirit beast egg to his grandfather Bai Jingchong. The reason for this is naturally Bai Zian's idea. On the one hand, the situation of grandfather Bai Jingchong is more complicated, as a top diamond beastmaster, but for some reasons, he was stuck at the top diamond level. If you can cultivate an amethyst-level pet beast, you can directly break through the current bottleneck and step into the amethyst level. It can be said that Bai Jingchong needs an amethyst-level pet beast even more. However, Bai Jingchong's situation is a little more complicated. On the one hand, Bai Jingchong's beast-fighting contract position was actually full. As a diamond-level beastmaster, Bai Jingchong can contract 6 beasts. After years of training, Bai Jingchong had already contracted 6 pet beasts, and even cultivated them to a good level. It is not easy for Bai Jingchong to abolish a pet beast. Moreover, because in the past, Bai Jingchong had also changed his pet several times. As we all know, if the beastmaster abandons the beast control contract and replaces the beast, he will suffer some backlash. The more times you change your pet beasts, the more serious the beastmaster will be when he encounters backlash. Such is the case with Bai Jingchong. Because of changing pets several times, Bai Jingchong is close to the limit. If Bai Jingchong continues to replace pet beasts, it is estimated that there will be a lot of backlash, and he needs to take some risks. To put it bluntly, if the amethyst-level spirit beast eggs are handed over to Bai Chengzhi, there will be no risk. Just wait until Bai Chengzhi grows naturally and is promoted to the diamond level. If the spirit beast eggs are handed over to Bai Jingchong, it may help Bai Jingchong break through the current predicament, but he needs to take some risks to buy them. This is the case with both options. I need to think of a way to solve Grandpa's problem. Bai Zian murmured something else. In the final analysis, it is because Bai Jingchong's situation is somewhat special. Otherwise, Bai Zian doesn't need to think about it at all. Just hand over the eggs of the amethyst-level eagle spirit beasts directly to Bai Jingchong. It seems that Bai Jingchong's problem cannot be dragged on any longer, and a solution must be found. Bai Zian murmured, thinking about this. 076-2 Solutions, Amethyst-grade material Yunling Tianshui. Subscribe. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In fact, Bai Zian has long wanted to solve Bai Jingchong's problem. Bai Zian had such an idea since Bai Zian learned about the past from Bai Jingchong's mouth some time ago. Bai Zian could see it, although Bai Jingchong, on the surface, has completely accepted his situation. What I think in my heart is no longer to let myself return to the original world. I just hope that the descendants of Bai Zian can return to the original world to see a wider world. However, Bai Zian could see that Bai Jingchong was still unwilling in his heart, not willing to stop at the diamond level. If there is a chance, Bai Jingchong would like to go further and return to the original world in an upright manner, go back to the Bai family and tell all the clansmen. Bai Jingchong is not an incompetent person and can return to the source world by himself. Although Bai Jingchong didn't say such words, Bai Zian could see it. Therefore, after Bai Zian knew about this matter, he also used the eye of apocalypse to find a solution. At that time, Bai Zian acquired several methods. The first method is what Bai Zian just said: let Bai Jingchong contract Nami's amethyst-level eagle spirit beast eggs and cultivate them to amethyst level. As long as the eagle-type spirit beast is successfully promoted to the amethyst rank, Bai Jingchong can successfully break through to the amethyst rank. This is a solution. After all, Bai Jingchong was unable to go further because his main pet, the red-eyed golden fish, suffered special damage, which resulted in damage to his origin. If that's the case, then change to another spirit beast with more potential and let it grow to the amethyst level. As for the risks of this method, I have already said it before, because Bai Jingchong has replaced pets too many times, there may be some risks in continuing to replace pets. Unless Bai Jingchong directly killed a pet beast, this risk can be reduced by replacing the beast in a way that the beast dies and the beast control contract is automatically invalidated. However, Bai Zian just came up with this idea, and he gave up again, because 520 will not appear this possibility. Bai Zian knew very well that with his grandfather's feelings for pet animals, how could he choose such an extreme approach? Even if Bai Jingchong wanted to replace the beast, he would forcibly break the contract with the beast and release the beast instead of killing it. This is Bai Jingchong's bottom line. Bai Zian is very clear about this. Therefore, if you want Bai Jingchong to contract amethyst-level qualifications, they should be spirit beasts and spirit beast eggs. Then, the risks that Bai Jingchong needs to bear are inevitable. This is the case for the first method. As for the second method, that is to treat the red-eyed goldfish. The original talent of the red-eyed golden fish can grow to the amethyst level. As long as its original source is damaged and restored, there is a great probability that it can directly step into the amethyst grade. Moreover, this method does not have any risks. To be honest, Bai Zian prefers this approach. However, the damage to the origin of the red-eyed goldfish is slightly different from the damage to the origin of Bai Zian's mutant red-winged crow cub. There is no problem with the mutant red-winged crow cub itself, it is only because the talent is too high that it can't afford it. This will happen. In this case, the mutant red-winged crow cub only needs to continuously replenish its original energy, and it can recover as before. However, the origin of the red-eyed goldfish was damaged because of a special attack. In this case, it is impossible to recover only by relying on the source energy. To give a little example, Compare the spirit beast to a balloon. The balloon of the mutant red-winged crow cub was only leaking due to the lack of air inside the balloon. However, the balloon of the mutant red-winged crow cub itself has no problems with its quality, and it only needs to be inflated again to recover. However, the balloon of the red-eyed golden fish was pierced with a hole, which caused the air leak. In this case, the balloon will not recover even if it is continuously inflated. This is the case with the red-eyed goldfish. Otherwise, based on the Bai family's research on water spirit beasts, the various water resources collected by the Bai family, even using the accumulation of water system resources, you can forcibly accumulate the origin of the red-eyed golden fish. This is a special case of the red-eyed goldfish. Of course, this does not mean that the red-eyed golden fish has no possibility of recovery. As long as suitable materials are found and treated with special methods, there is still the possibility of restoring the original source. However, if you want to treat the red-eyed golden fish, you need a special treasure called Yunling Tianshui, spiritual water, amethyst-grade material, contains amazing water origin, which is of great benefit to water spirit beasts. Just the introduction word amethyst-grade material can know its preciousness, if nothing else. Since Bai Zian awakened, Eye of Apocalypse, he has never seen amethyst-grade material. No, he has seen king-level materials once, that is the king-level crystal nucleus that I had seen in Candlelight City before. It's a pity that it is the king-level crystal nucleus of the fire element. It is not only incomplete, but also of the fire element. This can be seen. Amethyst-grade materials are rare. Of course, Bai Zian didn't forget this. In fact, Bai Zian has been looking for this resource. Before, when exploring the markets of Balan City and Scarlet Wing City, Bai Zian was also searching to see if he could find this treasure. It's a pity that Bai Zian still couldn't find this treasure even after rummaging through the bright and black markets of Balan City and Scarlet Wing City. Otherwise, Bai Zian would have helped Bai Jingchong long ago. After all, if Bai Jingchong could recover, or even break through to the amethyst level, it would be of great benefit to Bai Zian. It seems that I have to find a way to solve this matter, Bai Zian murmured, thinking about this matter. It seems that there are still many things that he needs to deal with next. Bai Zian has no time to rest and needs to keep busy. Thinking of this, Bai Zian was busy again. However, before Bai Zian was busy, a spherical figure came directly to the door. Brother Ong, school is about to start. Let's go buy what we need for school. It was Fatty Yuan who came to the city lord's mansion. Because the school was about to start, Fatty Yuan came to the door and planned to buy things needed for school with Bai Zian. School? Yes, I'm still a student. 9 that I in this regard. Bai Zian was slightly taken aback. Batch. After a while, Bai Zian let out a sigh. In this regard, Fatty Yuan was suddenly speechless. No, Ong, have you forgotten about the start of school? Fatty Yuan looked at Bai Zian speechlessly. They are all middle school candidates this year. After the holidays, they go to high school. Isn't this normal? No matter how Bai Zian looked, he almost forgot his student status. In fact, Fatty Yuan really didn't think wrong. Bai Zian really almost forgot about going to school. No way, Bai Zian is too busy. Before, the candle volcano experience was over, and there was only half a month of vacation left. After that, Bai Zian followed Bai Jingchong to Scarlet Wing City. And then he was busy with awakening the talent of the second beast. It can be said that during this half-month, Bai Zian has no time to rest, so much so that Bai Zian simply forgot about the start of school. What's more, because of the long-term cultivation, he was about to forget that he was still a student, well, a prospective high school student who is about to enter his first year of high school. Similarly, Bai Zian didn't know which high school he was admitted to. After all, he was about to forget the fact that he was a student, so how could he remember which high school he was admitted to? I have to say, at this point, Bai Zian is indeed a wonderful person. Housekeeper, I have something to ask you. Of course, Bai Zian is not worried about this, because the Bai family also has a housekeeper, who is responsible for handling all kinds of trivial matters. Presumably, the housekeeper should know these things. Thinking of this, Bai Zian called the housekeeper directly and asked about these things. Housekeeper, which high school did I get into? Has it been arranged? When the housekeeper arrived, Bai Zian asked the housekeeper directly. Master Zian, the high school you were admitted to is Balan No. 1 High School, and your class is Senior 1 class. All the procedures have been handled properly. The butler said respectfully, Balan No. 1 High School is the best high school in the entire Balan city, and the first grade, 1, class is the best class in the entire senior 1. It can be said that Bai Zian's class will get the best resources. However, this is also a normal thing. After all, Bai Zian's obvious talent is the S-level talent, super intuition. It is normal to have this result. However, Bai Zian is thinking about one thing: should he take a leave of absence? To be honest, if Bai Zian hadn't awakened the mythical talent, Eye of Apocalypse, Bai Lin No. 1 High School would still be very good for Bai Zian. However, after awakening the Eye of Apocalypse talent, the school's role in Bai Zian became low and low. Does the school teach the knowledge of beasts? Sorry, Bai Zian, who has the Eye of Apocalypse, has almost nothing to hide from him. Perhaps, Bai Zian knows more about beast fighting than the school teachers. The resources of the school are not even comparable to those of the Bai family. In this case, does Bai Zian still need to go to school? It is estimated that he can grow up faster by cultivating pet beasts by himself. That's what Bai Zian thinks. Brother Ong, let's go, you are almost gone. 35. Ever since the awakening ceremony, you have become a dragon without seeing the end. Today, whatever I say, I will take you out for a walk. Fatty Yuan played a rogue and kept pestering Bai Zian. In this regard, Bai Zian was also completely speechless. Okay, let's go out for a walk. Bai Zian nodded slightly. It just so happened that it had been some time since he last explored the market in Balan City. During this period of time, there should be some changes in the commodities on the market. He just took this opportunity to go to the market in Balan City to see if he could gain anything, if he is lucky enough to let him find Yunling Tianshui. Then Bai Jingchong's problem will be solved. As for leave of absence, although Bai Zian has such an idea, he has to wait for his grandfather to come back and discuss it with his grandfather. Bai Zian doesn't have to think about his parents Bai Chengzhi and Lu Kaiyun, they will definitely not agree. However, if Bai Zian can handle grandpa, it will be easier for the parents. At that time, Bai Zian might really be able to drop out of school and concentrate on his own cultivation. That's what Bai Zian thinks. Thinking of this, Bai Zian took Fatty Yuan and left the city lord's mansion, walking towards the market. 077 Unexpected Event. World Fusion. Rush to the unknown world of the mysterious world of Thousan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 85 meters ahead, the crystal nucleus of the silver-level spiritual beast, the fire sparrow, was found. 50 meters to the right, the gold-grade material water fluorite spirit stone was found. 65 meters to the right, a young rock turtle with bronze-level qualifications is found. 100 meters to the left, I found the sea-level enhancement system talent speed. Walking in the market, one after another reminders of heaven kept appearing in front of Bai Zian. After arriving at the market, Bai Zian directly opened the Eye of Apocalypse to investigate the situation in the market. As before, Bai Zian still blocks the hints of materials below the silver level, so as not to be overwhelmed by various hints, but this time, Bai Zian learned from the Red Crow Valley. Bai Zian did not make any restrictions on the exploration of spirit beast cubs and spirit beast eggs, so as not to miss the special spirit beast cub like the mutant red-winged crow cub like before. In addition, Bai Zian's exploration has also added another type of exploration, that is the exploration of the beastmaster's beastmaster talent. After all, Bai Zian has successfully awakened the SS-level talent, Chain of Heaven's Path, and can share the talents of other beastmasters. In this case, Bai Zian naturally needs to find a suitable talent for fighting beasts to enhance his strength. For this reason, Bai Zian explored the beastmaster's talent for mastering beasts. However, Bai Zian never found Yunling Tianshui. Bai Zian was also a little helpless about this matter. No way, in the mysterious world of 10,000 spider nests, amethyst-grade materials are too rare. I have probed the markets of the two main cities one after another before, but I have not found this precious material. Now, just walking around in the market, how can it be so easy to solve it? In this regard, Bai Zian is also a little helpless. It seems that if you want to solve Bai Jingchong's problem, you still need to wait for some time. Unless something unexpected happens, it is possible to quickly resolve Bai Jingchong's matter. Bang! Just as Bai Zian was thinking about it, a roar resounded throughout the world. Even more, the earth shook slightly. This feeling is like the world is about to collapse. For a time, the pedestrians on the entire street were all in a panic. Master Zian, something may have happened, please return to the city lord's mansion quickly. At this time, a cold figure appeared in front of Bai Zian. This is the ice beauty Angelica. Bai Zian walked out of the city lord's mansion, and Bai Ji and Bai Shao naturally followed Bai Zian, secretly protecting Bai Zian's safety. However, this sudden shock shocked everyone. At this time, Bai Ji's face was very dignified, and she seemed to be worried about something. Sister Bai Ji, what happened? Bai Zian forced himself to calm down and asked Bai Jidao, wanting to know what happened. Master Zian, I'm not particularly clear now. However, I have a bad feeling. Bai Ji shook her head slightly and answered Bai Zian's question. This tremor and earthquake came too suddenly. Whether it is Bai Ji or Bai Shao, it is not clear what happened. However, if there is danger, it is the best way to immediately return to the city lord's mansion, because the city lord's mansion is heavily guarded. Bai Zian's safety can be guaranteed to the greatest extent possible. I see, we will return to the city lord's mansion. Bai Zian nodded slightly and said to Bai Ji, what Bai Ji said was very true, and Bai Zian naturally wouldn't mess around with this kind of thing. After thinking about this, Bai Zian and others stopped exploring the market and returned directly to the city lord's mansion. Of course, Fatty Yuan, who ran out with Bai Zian, was also taken to the city lord's mansion by Bai Zian. After all, at this time, the city lord's mansion is the safest. Soon, Bai Zian and the others returned to the city lord's mansion. At this time, Bai Zian asked Bai Ji to ask Grandpa what happened. After a while, a message came from Bai Jingchong. It's okay for now, don't worry. What Bai Jingchong passed back was just 8 characters. However, Bai Zian saw something from these 8 characters. It's fine for the time being, that is to say, something did happen, but it can be suppressed now, and it won't affect Belan City for the time being. Perhaps, today's incident is related to the incident that Uncle Yuan reported to Grandpa when he returned to Belan City. Bai Zian murmured, thinking about this matter, even more. Bai Zian still thinks of the previous time, before, when the two of Bai Zian returned from Qi City and entered Belan City. Fatty Yuan's father, Yuan Duchen, reported something to Bai Jingchong. At that time, Bai Jingchong didn't care about sending Bai Zian back to the city lord's mansion, so he left in a hurry to deal with the matter. Combined with today's events, Bai Zian suddenly felt that there should be something special about to happen. This made Bai Zian a little curious, and wanted to ask his grandfather for details. However, Grandpa is busy now and should not have time to answer him. This made Bai Zian a little helpless. By the way, I may be able to get the answer from the Eye of Apocalypse. Bai Zian suddenly thought of his mythical talent. How could he forget his Eye of Apocalypse? Bai Zian can completely use the ability of Eye of Apocalypse. When encountering such a thing, maybe Bai Zian may get the answer directly. Thinking of this, Bai Zian used the Eye of Apocalypse directly, wanting to know what Bai Jingchong was busy with right now. This time, however, Bai Zian didn't get an answer. It seems that Grandpa's location is not within 100 meters of me. 5. Bai Zian was a little helpless. Although the function of the Eye of Apocalypse is almost omniscient, it has a limited scope. If something happened beyond the scope of the Eye of Apocalypse, Bai Zian might not be able to get the answer. Just like now, Bai Jingchong is not within 100 meters of Bai Zian, and Bai Zian can't get the answer either. This is a bit of a pain in the ass. Wait, although Grandpa isn't around me, so I can't get the answer directly. However, I can completely change an angle and ask the Eye of Apocalypse from another direction. 5. Suddenly, Bai Zian had a flash of light and seemed to think of something. The role of the Eye of Apocalypse is limited in scope. Well, Bai Zian changed his thinking a little bit. For example, Bai Zian no longer asked about Bai Jingchong, but about the earthquake and roar just now. This is what happened in the boundary of Belan City, and even affected Bai Zian's surroundings. If you ask this matter directly, you may get an answer. That's what Bai Zian thinks. Thinking of this, Bai Zian has already made up his mind. Thinking of this, Bai Zian used the Eye of Apocalypse again, silently thinking about the roar and earthquake in his heart. You are researching the cause of the Belan City earthquake, and have obtained the enlightenment of heaven. The two worlds are approaching each other, resulting in a conflict of space barriers, which in turn causes a chain reaction, and the aftermath causes vibrations and roars. The conflict between two worlds, is this true or false? Bai Zian's eyes widened, his eyes full of shock, seeking flowers, that he did not expect that the cause of the earthquake and the quake was actually the conflict between the two worlds. This is incredible. If it is too serious, it is very likely to lead to the destruction of the world. It's not impossible. In fact, in the history of the beastmaster civilization, there used to be two secret worlds, which caused a conflict in the running trajectories, causing the two secret worlds to collide, and that collision caused the complete destruction of the two secret worlds, and no creature survived. This is a rather extreme case. Of course, the overlapping of the two worlds is not a bad thing. It is like the beginning of the beastmaster civilization. At the beginning, the source world was just an ordinary technological world. However, with the advent of the major secret realms, a stable secret realm channel was formed, which in turn led to the invasion of the origin star by spirit beasts. This is also the result of a conflict in the uncharted world, and the result of this incident was the beginning of the beastmaster civilization. What's more, there are some secret realm worlds. After the collision, they are completely merged together to form a brand new high-level world. This kind of thing has not happened. It can be said that the collision of the world is not necessarily a crisis, but may also be an opportunity. Therefore, what Bai Zian needs to figure out is the result of this world collision. Thinking of this, Bai Zian used the Eye of Apocalypse. Again, the next moment, in front of Bai Zian, a reminder of heaven's path appeared again. You are studying the result of the collision between the mysterious world of 10,000 spider nests and the unknown world, and obtained the enlightenment of heaven. After 2 years of collision, the mysterious world of 10,000 spider nests and the unknown world will be completely integrated to form a high-level mysterious world. Detailed process. In the first 3 months of the fusion of the two worlds, there will be different degrees of vibration and loud noises in various areas of the mysterious world of 10,000 spider nests. The 3rd month to the 12th month, that is, the end of the first year, the world conflict will ease down, forming space cracks, and the two worlds will initially merge. From the 13th month to the 24th month, that is, the 2nd year, the two worlds are completely merged to form a brand new world. From the 25th month to the 36th month, that is, the 3rd year, the fusion time process will have a running-in period until it is completely stabilized. The mysterious world of 10,000 spider nests and the unknown world will be completely integrated to form a whole new world. Moreover, the world after fusion is still a high-level secret world. In other words, this incident is not a bad thing, but a good thing. That's fine, I don't need to worry too much. Seeing the result of Tiandao's prompt, Bai Zian showed a smile. According to the results given by Eye of Apocalypse, this matter should not be a bad thing. On the contrary, if the two worlds are merged, the world level of the mysterious world of 10,000 spider nest will increase. Then, the upper limit of the mysterious world of 10,000 spider nests will also increase accordingly. Moreover, the various resources of the new world are all great opportunities. If you seize this opportunity, it may bring huge benefits. It seems that the Bai family also needs to prepare. Thinking of this, Bai Zian had many thoughts in his mind. Just these thoughts, Bai Zian also wants to discuss with Bai Jingchong. Of course, Bai Zian is not in a hurry. According to the content of Tiandao's reminder, the process of the fusion of the two worlds will last for 3 years. 3 years later, the world fusion will be completely stabilized. In other words, the process of the fusion of the two worlds coincided with their 3 years of high school. It seems that he has a lot to do in the next 3 years of his high school career. 078 The evolution chain of the red-winged crow, the legendary three-legged golden crow. Subscriptio. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bai Zian wanted to complain about the fusion of the two worlds in 3 years. This time period was so coincidental. It happened to be their 3 years in high school. This time period is too coincidental. However, this does not seem to be a bad thing for Bai Zian. In the past 3 years, with the fusion of the new world, he will definitely gain more opportunities. In this way, his growth rate may be faster. Thinking of this, Bai Zian was instantly very happy. Thinking about it this way, the fusion of the two worlds is not a bad thing for him. Instead, it's a huge opportunity. At the same time, a broadcast sound began to appear in various areas of Balan City. This is the center of Balan City. The old man is Bai Jingchong, the owner of Balan City. Now I am officially reporting to the residents of Balan City. The vibration just now was not an attack by a beast, but a normal earthquake. Please residents don't need to be careful and take measures to avoid shocks. Bai Jingchong's voice was constantly heard from every street in Balan City. Obviously, Bai Lincheng has come forward and is comforting people's hearts. In this regard, after Bai Zian listened to it once, he didn't pay much attention to it. The next time, Bai Zian continued his own business. As for Fatty Yuan, after confirming that there was no danger, Bai Zian prepared to let the housekeeper May 20th to send Fatty Yuan home. After all, he still has other things to work on, so he doesn't have time to mess around with Fatty Yuan. Brother Ong, when school starts, I will come to find you. 35. You remember to wait for me. When the time comes, we will go to school together. 5. Although going back so soon, Fatty Yuan felt a little reluctant. However, looking at Bai Zian's appearance, it seems that there is something important to do. Therefore, Fatty Yuan did not rely on him to leave. However, before he left, Fatty Yuan told him that he wanted to go to school with Bai Zian. In this regard, Bai Zian naturally did not agree to Fatty Yuan. After all, he was thinking about taking a break from school. How could he agree to such a thing? After Fatty Yuan left, Bai Zian became quiet. For the next time, Bai Zian is ready to get back to business. Bai Jingchong's affairs cannot be completed for the time being, so he can only put it down temporarily. Therefore, Bai Zian will focus on the cultivation of pet animals. There is no need to say much about the cultivation of the white shadow giant fish. During this time, Bai Zian rarely summoned the white shadow giant fish. However, Bai Zian's cultivation of the white shadow giant scale fish has never stopped, because Bai Zian's beast guarding space belongs to the mythical beast guarding space, like an island. Even in the space of the mythical beast, the giant white shadow fish can still exercise very well. What's more, the ability of the white shadow giant scale fish has also made a lot of progress. For example, the big and small wishful skills you just learned earlier. With the ability of the Eye of Apocalypse, Bai Zian could easily find a way to let the white shadow giant scale fish exercise the Zairi skills. For this reason, since the end of the gambling fight with Qi Yani, the white shadow giant scale fish has been practicing this skill according to Bai Zian's instructions. Now, the proficiency of Xiao Rui's skills has been raised to the realm of small success. In addition, the other skills of the white shadow giant scale fish have also been improved more or less. Moreover, according to Bai Zian's observation, the current white shadow giant scale fish, it seems that it is not far from the intermediate black iron. After a short period of time, the white shadow giant scale fish should be able to step into the intermediate black iron level. This is the harvest of the white shadow giant scale fish during this period. As for the mutant red-winged crow cubs, the mutant red-winged crow cubs at this time, in all aspects, have not changed much, because during this time, the mutant red-winged crow cubs only do one thing, that is to keep eating, devouring all kinds of fire resources, absorbing the fire energy and the fire resources, in order to make up for the deficiency of its origin. Now, the aptitude of the mutant red-winged crow cubs has changed. Race, mutation, red-winged crow, fire, talent, the sun is like fire, SS, the body of the fire spirit, qualification, high-grade diamond, origin damaged, skills, flame of the sun, orange, body of fire spirit, purple, flame charge, purple, smoke impact, blue, residual red burning fire, blue, Changhong penetrating the sun, orange, golden crow Huahong. 10 days turned into the sky, did not come out for the time being, Introduction, the mutant fire-type spirit. Beasts give up other attributes, leaving only pure fire-type attributes, so they are favored by the sun's fire, and their growth height is extremely high, but because of the special nature of the sun's fire, it needs a lot of fire-type energy, causing damage to the source. If it can make up for the source of the loss, it may grow to an epic level. To be honest, the information on the mutant red-winged crow cubs has basically not changed much. The only thing that has changed is that the qualification has changed from top-level gold to high-level diamond. Moreover, the origin is seriously damaged and the qualification column has become origin loss. The word serious has disappeared. What does this show? It shows that the origin of the mutant red-winged crow cub has indeed been greatly improved. This is the change after swallowing a lot of fire resources. The loss of the origin of the mutant red-winged crow cubs has been partially made up. This is definitely good news for Bai Zian, according to this, and after spending some time, the problem of loss of origin of the mutant red-winged crow cubs may be completely solved. Bai Zian is naturally very happy about this. The origin of the mutant red-winged crow cubs makes up for the problem, and it should take a while. However, during this period of time, I can't completely avoid cultivating mutant red-winged crows. It seems that I need to think carefully about how to cultivate mutant red-winged crow cubs. 5. Bai Zian murmured, thinking about one thing, regarding the cultivation of mutant red-winged crow cubs. This matter cannot continue, therefore, Bai Zian needs to think carefully about how to raise mutant red-winged crow cubs, but before that, Bai Zian has something to do, that is to determine the evolutionary direction of the mutant red-winged crow cubs. Only to determine what the mutant red-winged crow cubs should evolve into, only Bai Zian can determine how to cultivate the mutant red-winged crow cubs. Like Bai Zian's white-shaded giant fish, at the beginning, Bai Zian determined the evolution direction of the white-scaled fish and determined that the white-scaled fish would evolve into the Jiutian Kunpeng. After that, Bai Zian began to cultivate white-scale fish, in the direction of whales, so now, Bai Zian must first determine the evolutionary direction of the mutant red-winged crow cubs. As for this matter, Eye of Apocalypse is a good choice. Thinking of this, Bai Zian used the Eye of Apocalypse to begin to understand the evolution plan of the mutant red-winged crow cub. You are studying the evolutionary method of the red-winged crow and obtain the enlightenment of heaven. The first evolutionary plan, after the second evolution, it evolved into the fire-winged red crow, gold level. Second evolution plan, after 3 evolutions, evolved into a fire-winged red crow, diamond level. The nth evolutionary plan, after 6 evolutions, from crows to blacks, 2-legged, 3-legged golden blacks, divine level, along with Bai Zian's inquiry, the evolution plan of the red-winged crow all appeared in front of Bai Zian. To be honest, there are still many evolutionary chains of the red-winged crow, but in front of Bai Zian, these evolutionary plans are all invisible, and they all appear in front of Bai Zian. What's more, even the secret evolution chain of the Qi family of Qi Wing City, which can evolve into the diamond-level fire-winged scarlet crow evolution chain, also appeared in front of Bai Zian. If the Qi Lianyan City Lord knew about this, he would definitely be shocked to the point of being speechless. You must know that the red-winged crow evolved into the evolutionary chain of the fire-winged red flame crow, but it was researched by the ancestors of the red family and regarded as the family heirloom of the red family. Under normal circumstances, it is impossible for outsiders to know this evolutionary chain, but now, this precious secret evolution chain just appeared in front of Bai Zian, letting Bai Zian choose. If Qi Lianyan knew about this, he would have to find Bai Zian desperately. However, Bai Zian didn't even look at this evolutionary chain of the Qi family, but kept scrolling down to check other evolutionary chains. Because in Bai Zian's view, the evolutionary potential of the Qi family is too low, can only evolve to the diamond level. What's the use? In Bai Zian's mind, even if the red-winged crow wants to evolve, at least it needs to find an evolutionary chain that can evolve to an epic level. After all, Bai Zian's mutant red-winged crow cubs are unimaginably high in aptitude. Even if it has not evolved, it has the possibility of being promoted to the epic level. Well, the premise is to make up for the source of the loss. In this case, how could Bai Zian abandon the high-level evolution method and choose the low-level evolution chain? Because of this reason, Bai Zian didn't even look at the evolution chain of Qi family's fire-winged scarlet crow, but kept looking down. In the end, Bai Zian's eyes were fixed on the last evolutionary plan, the nth evolutionary plan, after 6 evolutions, from crows to blacks, 2-legged, 3-legged golden blacks, divine level. 6 times of evolution, evolved into a god-level 3-legged golden crow. Great, I know that the mutant red-winged crow cub has extraordinary potential and can definitely evolve into a top-level existence. Bai Zian's eyes lit up, and there was an indescribable excitement on his face. 2.9 What is the 3-legged golden crow? That is a god in myths and legends, like the incarnation of the sun. Even in the legends of the Great Desolation, there is also the legend of Emperor Juntai, who was born in Jinwu, who became the emperor of the demon clan and ruled an age of gods. It can be said that the 3-legged golden crow is the god representing the sun. If it is his red-winged crow, it can evolve into a 3-legged golden crow. Then, the strength of the red-winged crow will definitely grow to an unimaginable height. it can be said that the growth limit of the red-winged crow is no less than the growth limit of his first beast, that is, the white shadow giant scale fish. After all, whether it is the nine heavens Kunpeng or the three-legged golden crow, they all exist in myths and legends. For this reason, Bai Zian was so excited. If it can be successfully cultivated, Bai Zian can have 2 god-level pets. At that time, Bai Zian waved his hand, and Jotian Kunpeng and the three-legged golden crow all surrounded Bai Zian. At that time, who else would be Bai Zian's opponent? This is why Bai Zian is so happy. Sure enough, when he was in Scarlet Crow Valley, he took the risk of contracting a mutant scarlet crow cub, which was really a correct choice. Bai Zian is very happy about this. After a while, Bai Zian calmed down his excitement and seriously studied the evolutionary method for the red-winged crow to evolve into the three-legged golden crow. 079 The evolution of difficulty is against the sky, the cub of the red-winged crow despised by the W. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The red-winged crow transformed from a crow into a black crow, 2 legs gave birth to 3, and evolved into a three-legged golden crow. It turned out to be the same thing. After some research, Bai Zian finally understood the situation of the three-legged golden crow evolutionary chain. First of all, the red-winged crow needs to evolve from the blood of the ordinary crow to the golden crow. Then, from an ordinary golden crow, it evolved into a three-legged golden crow. The entire evolutionary chain needs to go through 6 evolutions in total. This is the process of the red-winged crow evolving into the three-legged golden crow. This is somewhat similar to how the white-scaled fish evolved into a 9-day Kunpeng. The only difference is that the evolution of the mutant red-winged crow cubs only needs 6 times instead of 9 times. This is the difference between the two. To be honest, at the beginning, Bai Zian was also a little confused. The white-scaled fish and the red-winged crow are both basic forms, and they have both evolved into the god level. Why did the evolution of the white-scaled fish have 3 more evolutions? This is a doubt that arises in Bai Zian's heart after learning about the evolution chain of the red-winged crow evolving into the three-legged golden crow. However, after a little thought, Bai Zian seemed to understand a little. This is because the aptitudes of the two are different, or in other words, the blood levels of the two are different. The white-scaled fish evolved into a 9-day Kunpeng, which belongs to no foundation. It takes a little bit of evolution to gradually change into the blood of the Kun clan, and finally fully evolve into the 9-day Kunpeng. However, Bai Zian's red-winged crow is very special. It is a mutant spirit beast, and it is born close to the fire of the sun. To put it bluntly, Bai Zian's red-winged crow has already undergone a special evolution, from an ordinary red-winged crow to a mutant red-winged crow. This is also a kind of blood transition and evolution. To put it bluntly, the white-scaled fish and the red-winged crow have different starting points. The same 10 is to climb the 9-step ladder called blood. The white-scaled fish starts from the first ladder and climbs up hard. However, the red-winged crow started to climb from the 3rd ladder. Therefore, the evolution times of the mutant red-winged crow cubs will also be reduced. This is Bai Zian's guess. For this reason, Bai Zian also specially used the Eye of Apocalypse to verify his conjecture. It turns out that Bai Zian's conjecture was correct. The difference between the evolution of the white-scaled fish and the red-winged crow is due to the difference in blood concentration. Thinking about it this way, Bai Zian seemed to understand a little bit the root of the evolution of spirit beasts. The evolution of spirit beasts is not only an improvement in strength and realm, but more like a transformation of life and a transition of blood. For this reason, this is what is called evolution. This is a great revelation to Bai Zian. Perhaps, when he thinks about the evolution of spirit beasts in the future, he can think from this aspect. It can be said that because of the evolutionary chain of the red-winged crow, Bai Zian thought of many things. However, after a while, Bai Zian put down this matter and thought about training the mutant red-winged crow cubs, because for Bai Zian, it is still too early for him to study the mystery of the evolution of spirit beasts. Now Bai Zian, the most important thing is to exercise his pet beasts, make his pet beasts stronger, and enhance his own strength. This is the most realistic and fundamental thing for Bai Zian. Thinking of this, Bai Zian began to plan the cultivation of mutant red-winged crow cubs according to the direction of the three-legged golden crow evolutionary chain. First of all, I need to improve the strength of the mutant red-winged crow cub. As for the evolutionary materials of the mutant red-winged crow cubs for the first time, although there is no need to worry, they also need to be prepared in advance. Bai Zian murmured, constantly planning this matter. Bai Zian is not worried about training the mutant red-winged crow cubs, with the Eye of Apocalypse, Heavenly Tao prompt. This is not difficult for Bai Zian at all. The only thing he needs to do is to find the materials needed for the initial evolution of the mutant red-winged crow cubs. To be honest, the situation of the mutant red-winged crow cubs is rather special, therefore, the material it evolved for the first time was also slightly special. The auxiliary materials are relatively common fire-type materials, and they are easy to obtain. There is only one material called sunflower flower, flower of sunflower. The diamond-grade material is the flower of the plant-based beast, sunflower. Because it resembles a sunflower and grows in magma, it is named sunflower. Yes, this so-called sunflower flower is not an ordinary material, but a diamond-grade material. When Bai Zian saw this, he almost wanted to curse. The initial evolution of the mutant red-winged crow cub actually requires diamond-level materials. This is too exaggerated. You must know that when the white-scaled fish first evolved, the highest grade materials needed were nothing but the heart of the gold-level white shadowed water whale. Originally, Bai Zian already felt that this was already an exaggeration. The results did not expect that the evolutionary conditions of the mutant red-winged crow cubs are more severe than those of the white-scaled fish. However, when he thought of the situation of the mutant red-winged crow cub, Bai Zian immediately understood. The root of evolution is the improvement of bloodline level. The bloodline level of the mutant red-winged crow cubs is higher than that of ordinary creatures. I want to make it a step further and continue to evolve to a higher bloodline level. The required evolutionary materials will have a higher level. This may be why, for this reason, there is such a requirement. In this regard, Bai Zian is both helpless and happy. The helplessness is the helplessness that this resource is hard to find, and the joy is the joy for the high aptitude of the mutant red-winged crow cub. It seems that the higher the qualifications of the contracted beasts, the more difficult it will be to evolve. Therefore, Bai Zian can only comfort himself with the reason of this is not a bad thing, but a good thing. After a while, Bai Zian calmed down and continued to think about the cultivation of mutant red-winged crows, the diamond-grade material, sunflower flower. Bai Zian will not give up. Since he learned about the evolution chain of the red-winged crow, Bai Zian's goal has been very firm. In any case, he will let the mutant red-winged crow cub evolve into a three-legged golden crow. Therefore, he must collect this diamond-grade material into his hands. However, Bai Zian doesn't need to worry too much. According to the Eye of Apocalypse prompt, the mutant red-winged crow cub only needs to complete the initial evolution before the diamond level. In other words, Bai Zian can first improve the strength and realm of the mutant red-winged crow cub, wait until the gold level, and then let it complete the evolution. Therefore, what Bai Zian needs to do now is to supplement the origin of the mutant red-winged crow cub and improve its realm and strength. That's what Bai Zian needs to do next. At this point, the cultivation of the mutant red-winged crow cubs has become very clear. Thinking of this, Bai Zian started to get busy and began to help the mutant red-winged crow cubs exercise. Of course, if you want to exercise, you can't be in Bai Zian's room. Because the mutant red-winged crow cubs are fire elements, their skills are all related to fire. If you are exercising in the room, I am afraid that you will not have to order the city lord's mansion. After a while, when Bai Zian reappeared, he was already in the training ground of the city lord's mansion. Bai Zian waved his hand and directly opened the mythical beast space. The white shadow giant fish and the mutant red-winged crow cub appeared in front of Bai Zian. White shadow giant scale fish, you go to the pool over there to exercise. 35. Still the same as before, insist on using Zai and reduce your body size until you can't hold on. After the big and small Rui skills are exercised, use the water bursting skills against the stones on the pool, until you can control the breaking force of the water and keep the rocks from shattering to the ground. Then, move on to the next skill training. Bai Zian opened his mouth and kept giving orders to the white shadow giant scale fish, stating one training plan one by one. This is to exercise the skills such as size Rui and break of water. The exercise of big and small Rui skills is actually very simple, that is, keep using the skills until you can break through the limit. As for the training of water bursting skills, it is a bit complicated, because the water rupture skill is a talent skill. It is the innate skill carried by the A-level talent, water rupture. Every time you use the water rupture skill, it will be accompanied by the effect of the water rupture talent. which produces a good tearing impact effect. In this case, Bai Zian asked the white shadow giant scale fish to try to control this skill to the point where it could hit the stone, but it would not shatter. If you can do this, you can get a very good training, whether it is the water burst skill or the water burst talent. In addition to this 523, Bai Zian also speaks out how other skills are exercised. This is Bai Zian's training for the White Shadow Golem. Of course, these training programs were all perfected by Bai Zian through the Eye of Apocalypse, and they had a great effect on the White Shadow Giant Fish. This is also one of the reasons why the various skills of the White Shadow Giant Scale Fish can grow rapidly in the past. Lingling. Don't worry, boss, I will definitely finish the training. The White Shadow Giant Scale Fish let out a soft moan, and the eyes were very firm. It has no doubts about Bai Zian's words, its past experience, the experience that tells it. In the aspect of training spirit beasts, Bai Zian is like a god every time. As long as it does according to Bai Zian's words, it will definitely get very amazing results. This is the reason why Bai Zian worships Bai Zian so much. Dum dum. At this time, a crow's cry came, which seemed to be mocking the White Shadow Giant Scale Fish. This is the laughter of the mutant red-winged crow cub. The mutant red-winged crow cub can see that this stupid big white fish has a very good aptitude. If it grows up, the White Shadow Giant Scale Fish should be able to grow to a very high level. However, the existence of this level actually respected Bai Zian this mortal so much. This lost the faces of their spirit beasts too much. If it wouldn't listen to Bai Zian's words, because it wants to become a sun-like existence, the sky and the earth. It is the only one. How can it listen to Bai Zian's words? In response, the White Shadow Giant Scale Fish rolled his eyes and looked at the mutant red-winged crow cub like a fool. This ignorant guy actually looked down on the boss so much. After it knows the boss's means, it will definitely be more humble than it. You know, this is a godlike existence, facing the mutated red-winged crow cubs who kept laughing at it. The White Shadow Giant Scale Fish suddenly felt that this little crow seemed a little silly. It's better to stay away from it, so as not to be infected with stupidity. Therefore, the White Shadow Giant Scale Fish didn't bother to pay attention to the mutant red-winged crow cub, and went directly into the pool to start its exercise. 080 Red-winged crow cub, stupid beastmaster, this time I will win. Please subscribe. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Dum. Seeing the White Shadow Giant Scale Fish, he ignored it and went directly to the pool for training. Even before leaving, he gave it a look with a caring look at the mentally retarded. This made the mutant red-winged crow cub very angry, wishing to go straight up and give this big silly fish a scorching ball. This big fool of damn it dares to do this to the future Sun Supreme. It's going to grill the big silly fish once. Okay, Scarlet-winged crow, you are partners, brothers who will fight side by side in the future. How can you kill each other? 5. Seeing the appearance of the mutant red-winged crow cub, Bai Zian quickly persuaded the mutant red-winged crow cub. To be honest, Bai Zian was also speechless. Although the aptitude of the mutant red-winged crow cub is extremely high, it has not yet grown up. In this case, isn't it self-inflicted to go to the trouble of looking for the White Shadow Giant Scale Fish? You must know that the White Shadow Giant Scale Fish is a black iron-level spirit beast, and it is even a water system. On the other hand, the mutant red-winged crow cub is not in the realm of flow, and it is also a fire-type spirit beast. No matter how you look at it, the mutant red-winged crow cub has no chance of winning. However, the mutant red-winged crow cub was provoking the White Shadow Giant Scale Fish instead. This made Bai Zian speechless. The mutant red-winged crow cubs are a bit silly. Bai Zian suddenly felt that the mutant red-winged crow cub he contracted might have some mental problems. After a while, the mutant red-winged crow cub finally stopped tossing. Red-winged crow, do you want me to teach you? I promise that under my guidance, your strength will definitely improve by leaps and bounds. Bai Zian looked at the mutant red-winged crow cub with a smile, and talked about the training. In response, the mutant red-winged crow cub was full of pride and shook his head at Bai Zian. There is no need for this. It is the being who is destined to be the sun. With its talent, does Bai Zian still need guidance? It can be said that when it was in the Red Crow Valley before, it was because Bai Zian gave too much, and it fell into Bai Zian's trick and established a beast defense contract with Bai Zian. However, being Bai Zian's pet is the limit it can endure. When it comes to exercise, it won't let Bai Zian dictate. this is the persistence of the mutant red-winged crow cub, and it is also its dignity. The most important point is that it feels that if it exercises on its own, the effect must be better. Then Bai Zian's guidance, after all, Bai Zian is just an ordinary human being, how could he understand the abilities of the red-winged crow clan better than him? Sure enough, I knew this would happen. Bai Zian looked at the mutant red-winged crow cub helplessly. To be honest, Bai Zian already understood after being familiar with the temperament of the mutant red-winged crow cub, when he taught the mutant red-winged crow cubs, he might run into some trouble, because the mutant red-winged crow cub is too narcissistic, and feels that there is no one more genius than it in this world. Under such circumstances, how could the mutant red-winged crow cub want Bai Zian to teach it? However, Bai Zian is not worried either, because Bai Zian has long been ready for the killer. Red-winged crow, look what this is. Bai Zian came up with something special. This is a gilt gold diamond-shaped spar, which belongs to the nucleus of some kind of spiritual beast. However, there is a very obvious crack on the water chestnut of this crystal nucleus. This is exactly the king-level crystal nucleus that Bai Zian found in the black market of Candlelight Market, the king-level spirit beast, the incomplete crystal nucleus of the scarlet flame sparrow. When he was in Candlelight City, Bai Zian had a conflict with a local scoundrel in order to obtain this crystal nucleus. To be honest, Bai Zian has been in possession of this incomplete crystal core for a long time. However, Bai Zian has been reluctant to use this crystal nucleus. After all, this is a king-level crystal nucleus. Even if there is a problem with this crystal nucleus, it belongs to the incomplete crystal nucleus. However, after all, this is king-level material, and how huge its role is also an unimaginable problem. For this reason, even though Bai Zian had been feeding the mutant red-winged crow cubs with fire element resources for a long time, Bai Zian was not willing to take out this crystal core, and now, Bai Zian finally took out this crystal nucleus and prepared to use it to design the mutant red-winged crow cub. Dum. Seeing this incomplete king-level crystal nucleus, the mutant red-winged crow cub suddenly became excited. Obviously, it has already recognized that this is a king-level fire material. This thing is a real tonic for it. Once this crystal nucleus is swallowed, the problem of its source loss will definitely be greatly improved. For this reason, the mutant red-winged crow cub is so excited. However, at the moment when the mutant red-winged crow pounced, Bai Zian waved his hand slightly and immediately put away the king-level crystal core. Don't worry, do you want to get this king-level crystal core, Scarlet-Winged Crow? How about we make a bet? 99. For the next few days, you will listen to my words and train according to my orders. 55. If you think the training effect is okay, then even if I win, I will do what I say in the future. If you feel that the training effect is not good, I will not interfere with you in the future, let you train yourself, and give you this king-level crystal core. This is what the bet is about. Do you want to bet with me? Bai Zian looked at the mutant red-winged crow cub with a half-smile, and slowly said a word. Bai Zian is naturally very clear about the thirst of the mutant red-winged crow cubs for fire resources. Otherwise, when he was in Scarlet Crow Valley, Bai Zian wouldn't have used some gold-level fire crystal cores to kidnap the mutant red-winged crow cub. Therefore, Bai Zian can make the mutant red-winged crow cub easily submit to this feature. Because of this reason, Bai Zian used this king-level crystal nucleus to bet with the mutant red-winged crow cub, because Bai Zian knew, the mutant red-winged crow cub couldn't refuse this. In fact it is. After listening to Bai Zian's words, the mutant red-winged crow hurriedly nodded and circled around Bai Zian, as if to express its willingness to participate in this bet. Of course, the mutant red-winged crow cubs also have some ideas of their own. Beastmaster is so stupid. This bet is not too good for it, according to Bai Zian. Even if Bai Zian's guidance works, it just means it doesn't work. In this way, wouldn't it be possible to win the bet? You can get that king-level crystal core, and you can even exercise independently. No matter how you think about it, it won't lose. Haha, stupid Beastmaster, this wave is sure to win. How could it not agree to such a bet? For this reason, the mutant red-winged crow cub agreed very readily. Bai Zian watched all the reactions of the mutant red-winged crow cubs. Bai Zian could probably guess what the mutant red-winged crow was thinking. However, Bai Zian was half smiling, not at all worried. He had already prepared everything. As long as the mutant red-winged crow cub does what he says, it will be left behind. If that's the case, let's get started. Bai Zian nodded slightly. In this way, the bet is established. Thinking of this, Bai Zian stopped wasting time and began to guide the training of the mutant red-winged crow cubs. The sky was getting dark, and half a day had passed. The mutant red-winged crow cub at this time was completely dumbfounded, because just now, under the guidance of Bai Zian, he successfully raised the skill smoke shock to the realm of small success. How can that be? Gun smoke impact is a blue skill. This level of skill is already considered a very strong skill for spirit beasts with gold level qualifications. Their most powerful skills are almost the same as blue skills. Under normal circumstances, it would take a very long time for a skill of this level to be promoted to the realm of small success. If nothing else, a year is always needed. Of course, the mutant red-winged crow cubs are amazingly talented, and the time it takes will definitely not be that long. However, a month of exercise time is always necessary. However, under the guidance of Bai Zian, it only took half a day to upgrade the gun smoke impact skills to the realm of small success. This kind of thing is no longer something normal people can do. This kind of thing is like a miracle. The mutant red-winged crow cub was completely shocked and looked at Bai Zian with a shocked face. Who is his beastmaster? Why this kind of exaggeration? Bai Zian can easily do it. This made the mutant red-winged crow cub a little confused. In fact, not only the mutant red-winged crow cub can't understand, even Bai Zian can't understand. You must know that when Bai Zian was training the white scale fish, it took a while for Bai Zian to raise the foam layer skill of the white scale fish to the realm of small success. However, the foam layer skill of the white scale fish is only a green skill, in terms of level. Green skills are one level lower than blue skills. Therefore, seeing the mutant red-winged crow cub, it took only half a day to upgrade the gun smoke shock skill to the realm of small success. Bai Zian was also at a loss. It seems that in this process, something should have changed. However, this can't stop Bai Zian. When you don't understand something, just ask. Eye of Apocalypse. Directly, after thinking about this, Bai Zian directly used the Eye of Apocalypse to inquire about this matter. Soon, Bai Zian got the answer. Because the red-winged crows and the gun smoke impact skills have a very high degree of fit. On the other hand, the fire element talent of the mutant red-winged crow cubs is indeed far more than other red-winged crows. In addition, the training method Bai Zian obtained from the Eye of Apocalypse is also the most suitable training method for mutant red-winged crows. There are many reasons for this miracle. It can be said that behind this incident, there is a coincidence factor in itself. However, the mutant red-winged crow cub didn't know about this. Its small head can't figure out the reason for this. Even the mutant red-winged crow cubs thought that Bai Zian's training method really had such a heaven-defying effect. For a time, the look of the mutant red-winged crow cub looking at Bai Zian gradually changed. There seems to be a ray of light called respect, slowly appearing in the eyes of the mutant red-winged crow cub, looking up to the big guy 45 degrees. JPG picture. At this moment, the mutant red-winged crow cub really felt awe. In this regard, in the distant pool, the white-shadowed giant scale fish, who was training skills, looked at the stunned mutant red-winged crow cub with a look of contempt. Humph, I know this little crow can't stand the brilliance of the boss. But it's no wonder. After all, the boss is a godlike existence.